So my wife and I got into this show a little while back called Doomsday Preppers. The premise of the show was people from all over the United States were preparing for some type of apocalyptic event, meaning the dollar collapsed or high altitude EMP hit or something that was going to cause a societal collapse. So these folks are digging out bomb shelters and stocking up on guns and ammo and food provisions and all kinds of stuff. And it got a little, just kind of a little bit crazy for us, but we heard some of the arguments, and I'm not weighing in on what if I think something's going to happen or when or how or anything else like that. All I want to do is for those folks who are preparing, I want to give my 2 cents as a tactician. That's what I do. I train people in tactics and firearms. My 2 cents of how well some of these people are prepared. When I'm looking at almost all those folks on Doomsday Preppers, virtually all of them, I could come in, I know I could see it clear as day. I could walk in and take everything that they had and they would not be able to stop me. They weren't right. Their defenses were terrible, terrible. And they felt like they were good because they had a bunch of guns and ammo. Yeah, it was a laughable joke. They were sitting ducks and didn't realize it. And they felt like they were good to go. So see, even if you store up a whole bunch of resources, in a scarcity of resources, those without the resources will come find you. And only force will keep them from getting it. If some type of societal collapse happened, as time progresses and resources become more and more scarce, everyone's going to do anything they can to be able to get your resources. We're always about 9 meals away from anarchy. I heard somebody else talk about this, but I think the point is absolutely true. I can basically relay it like this. If your family was starving, you hadn't eaten in 3 days, what would you do to feed them? Better said, what wouldn't you do to feed your family, to keep your little kids from starving? What wouldn't you do? And if you're up saying, I'd do anything to save them, most people are like you. I'd do anything, which means, what kind of laws would you break? Would you take from your neighbors or anything else like that? See, all of a sudden, everyone becomes everyone's enemy. And so the idea is, well, run off, get away from people or whatnot so that you can live in peace. But now you need a bunch of resources around you, so it's kind of like run away from people. Now, after a little while, so say you're survived for a few months and you decide to cook a meal, that smell's going to carry. And for people who are starving, they'll eventually track you down. The folks that would be still alive after numbers of months would essentially have become professional marauders. They're pros at taking away from others, finding people and taking their stuff. And if you don't have a big enough societal network that can pull security at all times, in all directions, always being ready, I mean, your wife, your kid, you got to sleep. You got to work. You got to do something. You can't point guns in a 360-degree area 24/7. You'd need an entire community to be able to police that community and keep everyone else out. And that brings me to the second thing is you need society. So the 2 biggest things I was seeing in their preparations was, yeah, they get like 50,000 rounds of ammunition and a whole bunch of guns, but then they only have like 2 shooters or 1 abled shooter. They're not even close to being ready. You would need incredible training. Training is more important than the guns and ammo. Get a gun and a bunch of ammo and get tons of training, tactical training especially, if you would hope to devise some type of security plan that would give you anytime long-term sustainability. People don't like that. They don't really even know how to do something like that. They don't even know people like me exist, I suppose. But regardless, I digress. The other thing isn't just, hey, get training and devise a feasible security plan. You need lots of people to plug into that security plan. What would actually work, you need a network of people to be able to survive. Before technology and all the modern day comforts that we have now, people survive by banding together. So now you'd need a doctor in your society. You'd need mechanics. You'd maybe want a welder. You would want hunters. You would want professional soldiers to be able to keep you in. You'd want people that were good at governance. You would want, and you'd need a whole network of people because you can't just survive as an island, or at least not very long. Furthermore, if you're going to have a society, now there's a sociological aspect that plays in. Now, if you don't gather around a society that are all built around a common worldview, a common ethic. You all think the same. If you didn't have that common moral worldview type underpinning, eventually the society will turn in on itself, and it will either collapse, or a strong man will rise above the rest, and he will be able to rule with an iron fist, and might will make right. And then you're also in an unfortunate position. So to recap, if you're out there preparing for what may, and you think it's good to just, hey, bug out, isolate with your family and have enough food and resources, you might hide for a little while, but eventually you'll be found. When you do, you won't be able to withstand them, not without training and not without a community of people. So those are things that you could be thinking about as you're preparing. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed it. This may be out in left field for some of you, but for those who it's meant for, let it be food for thought. It's not enough to train hard. You got to train smart, guys. Warrior Poets, thanks for staying tuned. If you like this video, comment, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And if you have questions or you want me to answer something in the future, go and ask. See you guys.